Hello everyone, and welcome to Glitzy Stitches Home DIY. My name is Shawnee. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Today we'll be participating in the What Would You Make challenge. It's hosted by my friend Zana of OK at Home DIY, Connie of Connie's Creative Creations, and today our special co-host is CJ of CJ DIY. And today what I wanted to start out with is I'm going to be making this wooden round, actually for my daughter. And what we're going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tape off a section of this round. Now guys, I don't measure this, I just eyeball it. I have forever, and it's worked out thus far. So I'm just going to eyeball this in the center here. Let me see. I'm going to do about that much. And I'm going to need a little bit of space for the phrase we're going to put on this today. So I'm going to go ahead and make this quite large. We don't want it to look off key, but there's really no mistakes on these that you cannot fix. These rounds are excellent to work with. And the colors we're going to be using today are the Antique Wax by Waverly, and also we're going to be using the Maze Chalk Paint by Waverly. First thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the center of our piece. Going to take a little bit of the Waverly just like this and just start right in the center, wiping it on. I generally try to do my tape lines first and then work my way right down. Just like this up. Any imperfections are fine. I think they're great actually. Makes it look really good. Pull up that tape and voila. I love those nice, clean, crisp lines. And I'm not even going to worry about this. This will cover when we paint with our yellow. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get this dried, and we're going to go ahead and apply the Maze by Waverly on each end of our sign. I love it. I love the way this turned out. Looks great. Now what we're going to do is I have some stencils that I made on my Cricut, and this says, just like a good neighbor, stay over there. I thought it was cutesy. My daughter loves these little cutesy sayings, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stencil this on in the color white. My stencil brushes went totally missing, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use a dauber. I'm going to try this, and if not, I have some brushes over here on hand, and what I'll be using today for this is the white Apple Barrel acrylic paint. It's quick drying, so we'll see how this works. Let's see now. This is one that I've used because I didn't want to use a brand new one for this. It might work just fine. I'm going to go ahead, just tap it on there, and this does not take much. This is a thinner paint, this quick drying paint. I can tell that already just by the texture. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to dab this on here, just like so. And I usually always try, I'll let my paint sit for a minute on my stencils, but then guys, I pull it right up. I don't like to pull it up dry for sure. I'd rather pull it up when it's wet. Then we can weed out all of the other lettering. Want to get a nice good coat on there. Okay, now let's see if this turned out. There we go. Yeah, this is going to be great. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry now, and then I will pull up the other lettering. All we have to do is, I'll weed it, excuse me. All we have to do is weed that letter right there out. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to let this dry, and again, we're going to put just like a good neighbor, stay over there. And we are on our last words, I should say, over there. And the one thing I would suggest, now I used my CRICUIT for my stencils, and in doing so, you want to make sure that you're very gentle when you pull these up and your stencil off the backing it is on, because guys, these will stretch and we don't want that. Now that turned out beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to weed this. Just like a good neighbor, stay over there. I think this is adorable. Okay, I'm going to dry this up, guys, and I'm going to weed it, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I went back and I cleaned up my lettering. Just like a good neighbor, stay over there. Pretty cool. Now what we're going to do is I have this beehive sticker. Okay, she wanted a bee theme. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to center this as well as possible. Right up here, right about there. Make sure that's okay. Yeah, that's perfect. We're going to center this. Now, we're not going to put anything else right there, and we're going to put one of these little bees. Now, I don't want a saying on these bees because we have the saying here, obviously, and I think that would just be too much. I'm going to take this little bee right here, this little guy with a nice little stinger right here. These are easy to rip, so I have to be careful. I purchased these at a rummage sale, guys, and they have just been the best. I've used them on so many things. I'm going to put this right here like this, little bee in flight. There we go. Perfect. Okay, just like that. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to make our bow. And one of the main things I want to do to our sign is I want to go over this with a dishwasher safe Mod Podge. Now I realize that it's going to be on her door, so I do not want it to have the outdoor because that's just too much for it. That'll be too heavy for it. So I'm going to go ahead and just put this dishwasher safe on it just in case it should get wet at all. And this is a very different Mod Podge, guys. This isn't like what we use for our protectants and things like that. This is, you can definitely tell this has a purpose. Let's put it that way. This has some beef to it. We have our protectant sealant on, and I think this turned out really well. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and make the bow. I've just taken some blue jean ribbon that I purchased at Hobby Lobby, and I made the awareness ribbon, and I just tied that in the center. Now I'm going to take some of the lacy ribbon that I purchased at the Dollar Tree. I have not worked with this before. I've seen others work with it and they really seem to like it. Now I'm not going to tie a bow with this. What I'm going to be doing with this is I'm going to just use it in this fashion, like so. We're just going to take a little bit and pinch it and put it on here just to give it some depth. I like the texture of this. So we're going to go like this, and we can cut any excess off. And again, with some of the honeycomb ribbon from the Dollar Tree, we're going to make the awareness ribbon even a little bit smaller than we made the blue jean ribbon. And we're going to come up and we're going to tie this in the center, and we're going to attach it to the center of the bow, leaving the lace straight out. Okay, friends, and what we're doing is I've glued them all together now with hot glue. I'm going to take, and we're just dovetailing the ends of these, just like so. Okay, I think this is absolutely adorable. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to get a teeny little daisy, and we're going to put it right in the middle of our honeycomb ribbon. We're going to take this teeny weeny little flower, little daisy here. I'm going to cut this off. I want this as flat as possible. Okay, now I'm going to flood the center with hot glue, just like so. We're going to get our little daisy and we're going to stick it right there. That's adorable, guys. I am loving this. All right, awesome. Okay, I think that is so cute. So very cute. Now, we're going to get our little sign here. Okay, because we want it really cutesy, and then we want them to like read the phrase and be like, oh, okay. All right, so what we're going to do is I have a few daisy picks here, and also a couple picks that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. Now these berries this year, I am not minding this iridescent. I don't know why. Generally I'd be like, no, but I am not minding it at all. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, just like this, I'm actually going to shorten these a little bit, cut these off a little bit more. We're going to go right here like this. Then we're going to lay our daisies. And I always do this ahead of time, always, because you never know. You don't want to get it on your piece and not be able to remove it. So, and just like so. So I'm going to go ahead and get our bow put right here. I am going to do this with hot glue and a little bit of wood glue. Purpose being is if it gets real hot on her door and she doesn't want it falling off on her porch, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. Okay, here we go. Flood that middle just a wee bit. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to put our bow down just like so. And this is going to be absolutely stunning. I love it. So cute. Adorable. Okay, guys, I'm going to get our picks tucked in here and we'll be right back. There it is. And like a good neighbor, stay over there. I think my daughter's going to love this. And on to DIY number 2. Second DIY today, I have this rolling pen. Ahead and I've sanded off all of the sheen that I could with this, and I've wiped it off really good. Now what I want to do with this is I really dig the fact that it has this hole in the end here. That's great, and because it can be hung. So what we're going to do is I have these nautical napkins that I purchased at the Dollar Tree. Now guys, these are absolutely gorgeous. The Dollar Tree is stepping it up with their nautical this year. I mean, it's beautiful. And one of the coolest things about this, for coming from the Dollar Tree, this napkin has the print on all 4 sides. That is just fantastic. Okay, so let's go ahead and spread. I just have this regular matte Mod Podge. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and put some right here, just like so. This is super, super easy, guys, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put our napkin like this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll this over like this, just like so. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply some more Mod Podge. And you really don't need that much Mod Podge, as long as your picture, your print is nice and snug against your rolling pin. Any wrinkles you do have, you can go back and you can smooth out. So it works great. Really, really tough napkin. I'm impressed, from the Dollar Tree. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get this on. We'll be right back and we'll finish decorating. And when we get to the end, I am simply going just like this with my Mod Podge. Now guys, I did go a little uneven on this end and this end. I'm going to show you how we're going to fix that in just 1 second. This is gorgeous. I love my tan and blue together. So what we're going to do, we're going to trim the end of this rolling pin out in some burlap style ribbon. I purchased this at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to start here and I'm going to go all the way around our piece. Going to start here, guys, just like this. I'm going to make sure that we have enough to go around both ends, just like this. Now this is going to be the front of our piece, and I'm starting like this on purpose. And the reason I'm starting like this is because we can go around to the back and we'll make sure we have enough to go around the whole rolling pin. I'm going to get this attached. We'll be right back. Take our dolphin, okay, and right here where it came together, we're going to take some hot glue and we're going to glue our dolphin to the seam. This perfectly covers up the seam, guys, and it's beautiful, just like that. And we want his tail up a little bit. We don't want him to just look like he's just sitting there. So we're going to put him just like so. And he's going to be off to the side a little bit. Now I've taken some Martha Stewart baking twine. Okay, and I've hung a little angelfish on there. I'm just going to tie this around the top of our rolling pin. And shorten this, we're going to go ahead and we're going to tack this guy right on here because I think it looks super cool with the baker's twine hanging off the side like so. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to attach it right here to our piece, and I'm going to attach our, make sure that the back of that baker's twine is in there so it doesn't hang out. I'm going to post this just like this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get the ribbon, we're going to put a bow on this, we're going to call this a finished DIY. Friends, and for our bow, I'm simply going to take some of this lacy ribbon again that the Dollar Tree has. This is really cool. I'm going to glue it right to the top. We're not going to need this to move around anymore, but I would suggest making sure that the hole is at the front of your piece for when you hang it. Okay, I'm going to glue this right down there, just like so. Some hot glue going in there. Make sure that hole, if you have a hole in your piece, is facing to where you can hang your piece, because this hot glue is going to stick. So, okay, now what I've done, we can even this out in a minute. What I've done is I've taken just and made an awareness ribbon again. This ribbon I purchased at the Dollar Tree. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on first, and then we'll dovetail it. We want to know where we stand with it first. We're going to go ahead and we're going to dovetail the end of our ribbons just like so. Just like this. If you want to make them shorter or keep them longer, you can. Now we're going to take, I am partial to seahorses. I just love them. I seen one in Florida for the first time in my life, and I just think they are adorable. So rather than put it up here, you know, I think we may put it up here. That's very cute, actually. Picture in my thumbnail. Guys, make sure you go check out Zaina, Connie, and CJ's channels. I'll have the links to their channels in my description box below, as well as a link to the awesome playlist. Guys, check it out and show everyone love and support. Thank you so much for joining me today, everyone. Have a blessed day. Bye.